Check this out. This is the Zhiyun Crane 2. What's awesome about this is that it can easily hold my Canon 80D. It's got this little focus wheel thingy on it. You can control the camera from here, blah, 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 all that cool stuff. Let's just go shoot with it.
I don't think you're worth the trouble. I think it's over, then you make it double. Perhaps I should've known from the get-go, but some things are just too hard to let go. But I don't think you're worth the trouble anymore. I don't have to wait for the green light from the start. This was an uphill fight. I was at the front, kicking all the way. Yeah. In so many ways, it didn't feel right. And no longer will you keep it.
All right, so first impressions, it's nice and smooth. At first, the default settings, I felt like it was a little bit too jerky, which is good if you're shooting sports and stuff like that, but I rather have it nice and smooth. So I went into the app and lowered a lot of the sensitivity options so that everything ends up being much more smooth and fluid, opposed to kind of quick, jerky little turns. You might also notice I have this handle on here, and I actually like this handle a lot more than I thought I would. It actually gives you a whole lot more control when you're doing stuff like this, and it also makes it so you can hold it a lot longer. I've been carrying this thing around all day with me, walking on the sand, getting sand in my shoes, and getting burnt by the sun, all that stuff. And thanks to this handle, I haven't gotten super tired holding this thing. I don't want to throw this thing away in the dumpster yet. It also comes with an accessory mount, and a lot of people are going to be putting monitors on here, so you can hook that up. But I got a GoPro just on here, so I can take this camera and film this gimbal. It might be a cool shot. We'll see. You are filming this camera, film this camera, filming you, filming this camera. What? All right, so I have this thing perfectly balanced and all the knobs and everything tightened, so it's definitely giving me a lot of super smooth shots. But a couple times throughout the day, it did start vibrating on me a little bit. Can you see how much that's vibrating?
Yeah.
Right now the motor strength is high and it's still doing that. I also tried it out at medium and low. Still has the same issue. Oh, it's doing it again. My first impressions were that it was out of balance, but it's not. Or maybe one of these axes were loose, but everything's tightened down. It just sometimes does this little vibration dance. And I actually really love this menu interface here. I didn't realize how much I was gonna love it until I started using it, but you can control your f-stop right there, your shutter speed, your ISO all from here, so that is awesome. And of course you could hit that record button from here. Nice not having to come up here and turn all these dials and all this stuff while this gimbal's engaged. So throughout that sequence, I was running the 10 to 18 millimeter. It's a really nice, super wide angle lens, but is it vibrating it? Oh my God, check that out. It's vibrating like crazy. When it's not vibrating insanely out of control, it's smooth. But yeah, it's running the 10 to 18 millimeter lens. Oh my God, it's doing it again. What the heck are you doing? What is that? Since this lens is so wide and it has image stabilization, it's not super hard to make this footage out of this lens look smooth. To get a real sense of how smooth a gimbal is, you need to put on a tighter lens with no image stabilization. This one is one of my favorites. It's the Sigma 18 to 35 f1.8. This is gonna be cool because it's gonna give us some nice cinematic shallow depth of field, and also it's gonna be great in low light. So let's see if we can balance this thing on here real quick. This is not a lightweight lens either. A lot of gimbals actually have issues with this lens. So I dropped the camera all the way down, but you can see it's still a little bit top heavy. We're gonna have to lower the center of gravity a little bit over this way, so I'm gonna have to take off this battery grip. Poof, there we go, much better. And I feel like a lot of these handheld gimbals, they actually work better when they're on flatter cameras. Cameras with a battery grip like this, or taller cameras like the 1DX, they seem to have a lot of issues when balancing on these. Zhiyun also makes a monitor, so I'm gonna throw that on the handle. And what's cool is that Zhiyun has this external power cable, so you can actually power this monitor from right here if you want, but it is gonna kill this battery in here faster if you're feeding a monitor. Monitors love to use up a lot of power, so I'm gonna just throw its own battery right on here. Luckily, these use a very common Sony NP style battery like this one. We got a new lens on here. We're gonna hook up this monitor. We look all legit. Let's go get some footage. these run off 18650 batteries, and there's pros and cons to it. The con is you can't really just charge it by plugging it in. You literally have to take this all off. You have to take these 3 batteries out, throw them on a charger, and it's a little bit of a hassle. But what I love about 18650 batteries are that they can pack a punch. They can output a lot of power. They're getting more and more common. You can sometimes even pick them up at Walmart, and they are not expensive. You can use these to power other devices. Like I have a Tilta nucleus follow focus system that uses these same batteries. So less types of batteries I have to own, the better. And they might be more common than you think. Like for example, this red battery has a lot of capacity in here, but let's open one up. What's that inside? A bunch of 18650 batteries hooked up together. The Tesla Model S is literally a bunch of 18650 batteries tethered together. So 18650 batteries, I like them. And that's probably my biggest gripe about the DJI Ronin series. I've been Ronin operating for years now. I've had 4 of these batteries, each one 150 bucks each. 2 of them completely stopped working, and 2 of them are already showing signs of issues. This one just like inflated so much that it like cracked. All right, here's a question. What is the biggest camera I can throw on this thing and balance it? 1, I'm curious what kind of weight and size this thing can handle, and 2, I need a good clickbaity thumbnail. So let's do this. C100 Mark II, will it balance? It's almost there. The issue here is that it's still very top heavy. So one way we could actually counter that is sticking weights on the bottom. So check this out. I just screwed this thing on here, and all it's doing is taking the weight and adding some over here and down low. The super unofficial way of balancing your C100 Mark II on the Zhiyun Crane 2. It honestly doesn't feel terrible, actually. I could actually see myself using this setup. It'll just look a little bit silly to have this little nub hanging out there, but hey, it serves a purpose. Next contestant, Canon 80D with a Cine lens. It literally won't even mount on this plate because this lens is too big. I need to put the plate like right around here, and it just won't mount without this lens getting in the way. I have to add that vertical grip. Whoa, this 80D looks like a beast. Look at this thing. Okay, this is gonna be a challenge for sure. The autofocus on these Canon cameras and most DSLRs now are getting so good that you can pretty much rely on them, and they're gonna be better than just running manual focus unless you have a trained AC. But when you use cinema lenses or any manual lens, you're gonna need some sort of device to pull that focus for you. I think these actually come standard with the Crane 2s now. Here's another thing I wanna complain about. This threads right onto here, and it threads on clockwise, which means when you have it on tight, when you turn it this way, it gets tighter, and you turn it this way, it gets looser. Because of the shape of this thing, you can tell Zhiyun clearly designed this to go on this side of the lens, just like that. It would clamp onto this rod right here and clamp on to the lens, just like that. It naturally wants to press away this way because of all the pressure it's putting up against this lens. It wants to naturally turn that way. Problem with that is when it turns this rod a little bit, it loosens it. So I guarantee what's gonna happen is after a certain amount of time of pulling focus like this, it's eventually gonna press away, then loosen this down here and just flop off, which is super annoying. So if you had to put it on this rod, the better way would be to undersling it like that, but you can tell just by where the teeth are that it wasn't really designed to do that. Zhiyun, please, for version 2, either reverse thread this rod or another way of attaching this rod all together. Trust me, if you have an all-day shoot with something like this, you have it set up and then it plops off on you 3 times every hour, you are gonna get so pissed. Tighten that sucker down. I think we're gonna have to add more weight to the bottom. And in case you guys aren't understanding why I need to add weight to the bottom, it's because if I take the camera on its side just like that and I let it go, it wants to turn to the side like that. Yeah, see how it's so top heavy? So to balance that out, I just need to add more weight to the bottom. So now with this weight on, it falls that way, which is great. Now it's bottom heavy, so then I could just slide this back up a little bit. We got a pretty good balance going. It generally stays wherever I put it. So I got everything hooked up, ready to go. Oh my gosh, look at this thing. Holy crap, this is amazing. Not gonna lie, this is pretty cool. I never thought I'll be able to operate a cinema lens like this. What? I'm using this focus wheel right here, and I'm monitoring off this screen here, and of course I can control all the camera settings from here. But whoa, dude. This isn't even the prettiest shot ever, but dude, it's so crisp. What do you guys think of my rig?
It's pretty dope. Can I touch it?
Yeah. Thanks for helping me with my clickbait. You'll either get a lot of clicks from your face or from this camera. What do you think?
I think the face.
Yeah, the face definitely sells this video. We're gonna get so many clicks off this thumbnail, dude. Here's another one of their accessories that they sent me. You can wirelessly pull focus, which is awesome if you have yourself an assistant camera. There's a tiny bit of latency. It's not as fast as some of the professional ones that are really expensive, but it's not terrible. Check it out. Boom, boom, boom. Also has this thing called gravity mode. You press the button and you turn the remote to the right, the camera turns to the right. Turn it to the left, turns to the left. But to be honest, the responsiveness of this is not good enough to the point where I would ever actually use it. It's cool. I like to show people this trick, but it's just too, the control of it is just not accurate enough. I would much rather just use this joystick. Anyways, what do you guys think of the footage? All of this gimbal footage, by the way, has been shot on the Canon 80D, and I color graded them using my LUTs, link in description. But anyways, Zhiyun did tell me that they are working on some new gimbals. They didn't tell me much about it, but there's gonna be gimbals coming out in the Crane series that is supposed to be a new and improved version of the two. So I guess we'll all keep a close ear for that. But anyways, I need to get to sleep. It is way past midnight. I have a shoot tomorrow. I'm flying over to Spokane, Washington. Never been there before. So yeah, I should probably start packing my gear instead of filming this YouTube video. I'm gonna end this video by throwing this 18 to 35 millimeter back on here. We're gonna take this over to a midnight adventure to the corner store. And of course, edit it to my favorite genre of elevator music.